Another episode of The Walk Down. I'm your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. Let me turn this up. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. And what we're going to discuss is the new guidelines, for health, the new guidelines for eating, the new guidelines, man. And, it is, a lot of people that don't like, Trump and don't like these things. Guys, what we got to understand is that processed food at Jack in the Box, at Whataburger, at McDonald's, those processed foods. Well, what is an example of processed food, Stock Sniper? The food that you buy in the frozen section. Maybe it be a burrito, chicken nuggets, what else? Did you know just those type of foods? Processed foods, right? If you look on the label, I challenge anybody, look on the label of a lot of those processed foods, man. They're really, 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 really horrible. And they put all kind of stuff in there to make it preserve like you do. And for number two, to make it taste pretty good and pretty decent. So just give me a second. We got to get some people in the building on this part of the walk down. We want to talk about processed food. We want to talk about sugar. We want to talk about soda. Because I ain't gonna say I did a test, but I just looked, at a soda bottle, and it was amazing, amazing, amazing what I discovered. Because back in the days, probably close to 30 years ago, I did a test. What type of test did you do, Stock Sniper? I bought me one of them food scales, and I went and bought some sugar. And then I looked on the back of a soda water can. I think it was Sprite or Dr. Pepper. I can't remember which one, but you can get any one of them. But I did this 30 years ago. And it was about 30 years ago. And what happened was, I discovered it was 35 grams of sugar in one of those cans. And if you really think about it, a lot of us, we really don't think about it like that. But if you really think about what 35 grams of sugar look like, guys, in a 12 ounce or even a 16 ounce bottle, even a 24 ounce. And that sugar, that context on what they're saying is per serving. So, and a serving, according to the nutrition on the back of the label, is, if I can remember correctly, it's 8 ounces. So you're actually getting, 35, well, back then it was 35 grams of sugar per serving. You know what I'm saying? And I got to really go back and really look at the bottle. I think one full bottle is a serving, so I'm going to leave it like that. So back in the day, around about 30 years ago, I'm going to round it off to the nearest 10. Because if you don't know, I'm a numbers guy over here. So you round it off to the nearest 10. 30 years ago, I did a case study with sugar in a soda. Because I looked and seen 35 grams of sugar in a soda, right? One can, right? And so what I did was I went and got a food scale. Got some sugar, and I got some sandwich bags. Yeah, I was really bored back then, guys, about 30 years ago. But, I was kind of thinking ahead. You know what I'm saying? I was in my 20s, and I was kind of thinking ahead. You know what I'm saying? So, make a long story short, I weighed up the 35 grams of sugar inside of the sandwich bag, and I put it on the scale. I was like, golly, 35 grams of sugar, guys. It's a whole lot of sugar. Once you really look at it and eyeball it, it's a lot of sugar. I've been thinking about doing a video of me doing this in 2026. I've been thinking about doing that video. I done said it about 3 times. I think I'm gonna do a video so y'all can visually see 35 grams of sugar inside of a bag, a sandwich bag weighed up on a food scale, to give you an idea on how much sugar is really inside of these cans of sodas and these bottles of sodas that we actually be drinking, guys. And the point of it is that sugar, guys, is real, real toxic. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people I know in real life. You know what I'm saying? Probably a lot of people that y'all know in the chat. We got 23 people in the chat. Appreciate y'all for joining this walk down. But this is valuable information that I'm about to put on y'all mind, guys, about sugar. Sugar is very, very, very toxic. Some people can't, a lot of people that I know don't even drink that much water. All they drink is soda, tea, you know what I'm saying? And things like that. Those big old cups that they give you at the corner store, full of soda, you know what I'm saying, or full of juice. Bro, what we gotta realize, if you get a 44-ounce cup, they call it, I think they used to call it the big gulp or supersize, whatever they call it. If you get a supersized soda, you know what I'm saying? Bro, just imagine how much sugar is in that 44-ounce cup. I already said, back when I was, back around 30 years ago when I did the case study, it was 35 grams of sugar then. But guess what I did last night, guys? I looked at another bottle of soda. Guess how much sugar they're putting in the soda in 2026? 55 grams. They've upped up the sugar in these products, guys. You know what I'm saying? Because they realize that people are addicted to the sugar, addicted to the cakes, addicted to, you know, the taste of the food or whatever the case may be. They know that people are addicted to it. So now I looked at the soda last night, fresh off the press. They're no longer putting 35 grams of sugar in there no more, guys. You know, this was 30 years ago. So fast forward 30 years later, which is right now in 2026, as of last night, they're putting 55 grams. In other words, they added 20 more grams of sugar inside of these sodas, guys. Dr. Pepper, Sprite, you name it. They have upped up the grams in these sodas. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't 55 in the one I just looked at last night, today, probably not today, but soon, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna go turn around every last one of them soda bottles from Sprite, Dr. Pepper. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to see if they raise the sugar intake in these sodas. And I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, that 35 grams that I did 30 years ago, guys, I guarantee you those sodas are over 35 grams right now because they understand that the addiction part of the sugar. But the main thing about sugar, guys, and what we got to realize, guys, sugar is toxic. Why do you say sugar is toxic, Stock Sniper? You got to look at it as being toxic. Toxic, why? Because if you drink sugar, if you drink all that sugar and eat all them cakes and go into Jack in the Box and Whataburger and McDonald's all the time and drinking those big old things of soda every day, every other day, over time, over 5, over 10, over 15 years. This is very important for the younger guys that are in your 20s. Guys, you got to stop drinking all that sugar. I'm telling y'all, because what it does is once the body builds up sugar and it overloads and the body cannot get it out of the system fast enough, it overloads with sugar, right? And then once it overloads with sugar, and over time, over years of doing it, right, and not going to the doctor, and over times of actually drinking all the soda, eating all the cakes, eating all the sweet potato pies, and all these things that are full of sugar, guess what happens? Over time, and when you get 40 and 50 years old, when you get my age, you find out you got pre-diabetes. You know what I'm saying? And we already know most people don't go to the doctor, guys. So then all of a sudden, you will get most Americans don't go to the doctor until something happens, right? So a majority of the people, whenever something happens, then boom, they find out they got diabetes, right? But I'm here to tell everybody right now that rock with this channel, you know what I'm saying? Sugar, you gotta look at it like this. Sugar is toxic, guys. It's poison. Gotta look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? I've had one person on the channel that followed up with what I was saying and went and got their blood work done. This was last year. They went and got their blood work done and found out they was pre-diabetic. And because they attend this walk down, they found out they was pre-diabetic, and guess what they did? They stopped drinking all the sugar. They stopped eating all the cakes. They stopped going to Jack in the Box and Whataburger every single day. They stopped going to the corner store buying those big gulps, whatever they used to call those 44-ounce sodas. Guess they stopped doing it and they started working out. They started exercise, just basic walking. And guess what? They hit me up and told me, They are out of pre-diabetic stage at this point. It took them almost a year of getting out of the pre-diabetic stage, right? Guys, I'm telling y'all right now, once you are out of that pre-diabetic stage and you get into full diabetes, it takes years. It took this person almost a year to go from pre-diabetic back to normal levels, right? It took almost a year. Luckily, they caught it in his time where they was not too much far up in the pre-diabetic stage. Luckily that they caught it, thanks to Stock Sniper TV and this live, and y'all that come over here and rock with me, that's been subscribing to the channel. Now my channel, our channel, is being accessed to a whole lot of different group of people, which is the goal of this channel. You know, and they hit me up and told me, Stock Sniper, I've been watching the walk down. You told me, you said that everybody needs to go get their blood work done to see where their levels at and stop eating all that sugar and all that processed food. And they told me, well, Stock Sniper, I went and I found out I was pre-diabetic. And then they automatically, they say, man, that's Stock Sniper TV. Man, I'm so glad that I was tuning in and listening. And guess what? They stopped drinking the soda and the food, and they got back in normal levels. And guess what? They will never drink soda like that again. They will never eat cakes and pies every single day like that again. They will never eat a Jack in the Box and Whataburger and DoorDash and Uber every single day again and getting the biggest soda on the menu, the supersize it as they call it. They'll never do that again. Matter of fact, they also had high blood pressure. And because of that, they started walking, just simple walking and watching what you eat. You ain't got to be perfect, 100% perfect. But guess what? You don't want to be drinking soda and all that sugar and cakes and pies every single day, guys. You want to stay away from processed food. You want to stay away from that. And guess what, guys? It's a lot of kids. As I think about it, it's a lot of kids right now, people that grew up like that. People grew up drinking sodas every day. People grew up eating at McDonald's every single day. People grew up eating processed, quick, put it in the microwave food every single day. Burritos, whatever else. Noodles, that's another bad one, guys. You got to stay away from ramen noodles too. You got to stay away from that processed food. Don't make it a meal. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, the Stock Sniper TV, sometime I take a taste of soda, sometime I eat some meat because I am a vegan. I'm not saying you got to go vegan, but what I'm saying is you got to eat clean, healthy food majority of the time. 80 or 90% of your daily eating has to be real food, guys, and drinking plenty water. People want to figure out and wonder why I'm able to work out 3 or 4 times a day at my age and I'm able to have all this energy and do all these things. Guys, it's because I'm not no super athlete, guys. I just understand, and I've been taking care of my body for a very long time, and I drink plenty water every single day. 90% of my day is real food. But even though I am a vegan, I don't eat meat. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is the main thing is sugar, fructose corn syrup, processed food. You got to look at the label, right? And you got to see what's going on. And young kids, parents, you got to start back cooking, guys. There's a lot of people that I know really don't cook no more. You know, they high income earners, you know, because of what's going on in America. The mom and the dad both have to work. People don't have time to cook. But guys, all you got to do is prepare, right? Have your food already cooked. Find something that you love to eat that's really healthy. And people say, Stock Sniper, it costs a lot of money to be vegan. It costs a lot of money to eat healthy. No, it don't. It don't cost a lot. Actually, it costs less money to eat healthy than it does to eat a Jack in the Box and Whataburger and all these fast food places and buying pizza out the frozen, all these processed foods. Actually, that costs more than actually eating healthy. We got to understand that, chat. We got 100 people in the building. We need more people to hit the like button to get so we can get the notifications out, because the word of the day is we got to eliminate sugar, guys. We have to eliminate the sugar. If you're drinking coffee and you put sugar in it, you have to learn how to drink your coffee and your tea without sugar. You got to learn how to eat cakes and pies. without sugar. You have to learn how to stop eating processed food and going to McDonald's and Jack in the Box and Whataburger, Taco Bell, without, because those things, guys, are processed food. And guess what we know? We know that majority of that food is coming from overseas. If you get it from Jack in the Box, Whataburger, majority of that food is processed overseas. And guess what? They're putting all kind of chemicals in that stuff, right? And guess what? Once you stop drinking all that sugar, once you stop eating all that processed food, guess what's going to happen? Your system, your body of your system, your emptying system is going to flush itself out. Once you start drinking a lot of water, your emptying system is going to flush itself out. You're not going to be bloated. You're going to be using the restroom on a regular basis, right? And you're going to have, and when that happens, when you stop being bloated, right? When you're emptying out your intestines and your insides on a regular basis, you feel lighter, you get more energy. That's the reason why I have so much energy, guys. That's why I can do what I do. All this exercise. I'm not no superhero, guys. I'm not one of your favorite athletes. I'm none of that. I'm not a professional athlete. I'm just a regular older guy that's been doing this for a while, right? I've been living this type of lifestyle for decades, but guys, we also got to understand, when you go to the doctor, and these doctors, they are in bed with the pharmaceutical companies, guys. We got to understand that. So that's why if you're young, if you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, you got younger kids, you got to get your kids off of the sugar. You got to get your kids off of the processed food. You got to get your kids off ramen noodles. You got to do it, guys. You got to, and it starts early, because guess what? Sugar and that fructose corn syrup, that stuff is addictive like drugs, guys. That's the big secret. Everybody want to know the secret to sugar. It's toxic and it's addictive. It's worse than drugs. It's worse than heroin. It's worse than crack. It's worse than all those type of drugs. And guess what, chat? That's how you got to look at it. Once you look at, man, I'm not going to eat that cake. Why, Stock Sniper? Because it's toxic. It's poison. I'm poisoning myself by eating that. And if I eat cake and pies all the time, every day, every single week, every single month, every single year, Stock Sniper, when I get your age and I go to the doctor, it's a strong possibility. In other words, you're shooting the dice. If you say, well, man, you can't think I won't be the one to have diabetes, because it's the studies that's showing right now. Okay, the 2,000 kids right now, the kids that were born in 2000, 2005, 2010, the younger generation, they're basically raised on sugar, processed food, DoorDash and Uber, Jack in the Box, Whataburger, McDonald's. They're basically raised on that. And the study is out right now. Look it up. That these kids, they're finding out that these kids are at a young age, 18, 19, once they're 18, 19, 20 years old, these kids are ending up with chronic diseases, guys. They're ending up with diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, they fat, they can't run around the block. You know what I'm saying? They get upset and it messes with your mental health. Sugar also, it puts a mental blockage on your brain. Guess what it does? It's worse than the internet. It's worse than the reels. It's worse than the shorts. It compresses your long-term thinking. It compresses your anxiety. Then you wonder why you got anxiety. You wonder why you can't think past, you can't watch a 30-minute live. Your focus is not there. You quit real quickly. It's not that you're a quitter. It's not that those people are quitters. It's just what they're putting in their body. And all the toxic stuff is holding them down, it's lagging them down, and making them feel like they're 1,000 pounds. But then once they start drinking a lot of water and stop eating all that sugar and start eating real food, real processed food, this is not about being a vegan. It's not. It's about no sugar, no processed food. Start cooking at home. Don't eat no burgers. Fried fish and fried fish, fried burgers, French fries. Throw all that away, right? Bake your fish. Bake your hamburger patties. If you want to eat hamburger meat. I don't eat hamburger meat, but that's just me. I'm a vegan. I hardly ever eat meat, but that's not this live is not about that, because a lot of people, is to get, we got to eat meat to get your protein. Well, that's a whole different conversation. But the main thing is processed food, sugar, salt as well. But sugar, all that salt, all that fructose corn syrup, that in our favorite donuts and our favorite pies. I used to love a cheesecake. I used to love Jack in the Box, a double meat, a jumbo jack with cheese and 2 tacos. I used to like the Whataburger with cheese. I used to like all those things, guys. But guess what? I had to give it up. And then once you give it up, because once you give it up and you do it for a substantial amount of time, like I have, chat, guess what happens? You realize that you was addicted to that stuff. You'll realize that you're addicted. And they put certain stuff in there to make us addicted, to make us coming back like a drug addict. That's why you gotta have that the Happy Meal. That's why you gotta have the Happy Meal. That's why you gotta have the jumbo jack with cheese. That's why you gotta have the cream puffs. That's why you gotta have along with not just that, but it's easy, right? It's easy. It's convenient. I just put it in the microwave and eat it and I'm good. No, that right there shows impatience. That's a mental health issue. You're not patient enough to cook your own food. You're not patient enough to come out and walk 2 or 3 miles. You're not patient enough to drink a gallon of water. What Stock Sniper, a gallon of water, that's a whole lot. It's really not if you really break it down. Because if you think about it, if you're drinking sodas all the time, you're already drinking a gallon. You're just drinking a gallon of sugar. That's what you're doing. You're just drinking a gallon of sugar, that's all. If you're drinking a lot of coffee, a lot of tea, a lot of soda, you're putting a gallon of fluids in your body. It's just the wrong type of fluids. So if you drink water, a lot of people think, well, a gallon of water, man, that's gonna be a whole lot of water. But how you do it is you break it down. As soon as you start drinking water, you drink water with your meal. If you eat 3-4 times a day, you drink water every time you eat. You drink water when you wake up. You process water all day long. And how I do it, how I trained myself to do it, chat, I got me a good jug, a gallon jug. And what I did was, I didn't buy bottles of water, because one thing about buying bottles of water and those cases of water, that stuff is, it's expensive to do it like that. Buy you gallons at a time, right? To start off with, buy you a gallon, and just start pouring it in the cup. Pouring it in a bottle, you know what I'm saying? Pouring it in a cup that you bought from the store, and you drink it like that. That's how I trained myself to start drinking a gallon of water every single day. And just understand it's a process. It's a long process. It's a daily process. Soon as you wake up, you start drinking water. But I guarantee you, if you drink water every time you eat, you drink water as soon as you wake up, you drink water throughout the day to quench your thirst. By the time it's time for you to go to bed, you'll be done drunk a whole gallon. And then you come out and you walk. You exercise. You don't have to run a lot of miles like me. You don't have to do all that. All it takes is 20 minutes of walking. It's excellent on your mental health. It actually gives you the time. It gives you, it makes you understand that life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Let me say it again. It actually makes you realize, and you're able to come you'll be able to come in your subconscious mind. Not only in your conscious mind, but in your subconscious mind, then you realize life is a marathon and it's not a sprint. Then you realize that, you know what I'm saying? And once you realize that, you look at things a whole lot differently. You look at things long term. Everything is long term, right? And you make it a part of your life. Next thing you know, you're not worried about ordering DoorDash and Uber anymore. You're not worried about drinking sodas no more. You're not worried about putting all that you're not worried about eating all that processed food, because you actually took the time to prepare food. And all you gotta do is cook the food and cook enough to last for 3 days. That's a quick tip. Cook enough food that'll last you a week. Cook you enough food to last you 3 days. You know what I'm saying? That way you ain't gotta cook every single night. And do it like that. Have your food already portioned out on what you gonna eat, right? Especially if both people gotta work. If you're in a household and both parents work or both people work, everybody works, okay, we're gonna take one day and we're gonna make sure everything is prepared, and then we're gonna package it up and then you take it to work with you. That's how it works, along with your bottle, with your gallon, with your half a gallon, and you drink it like that. That's how you do it, chat. And just like that, we're just about over with the walk down. We're just about over. Trader, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Come on now. You're trying to throw off the live, but this live is about sugar intake. This live is about not only sugar intake, but it's also about processed food, right? It's also about that. It's about actually doing what a lot of people don't do these days. A lot of people don't cook at home anymore. So everything is fast food. Everything is fast. Everything is fast. People are lazy. I don't want to cook, so I'm going to order out. I'm going to order this. I'm going to order that. We both work a lot of hours. We don't have time to cook. Yes, you do. All you got to do is take one day, not even a whole day. Take a few hours. Cook enough food that's going to last three days to a week. Once you cook enough food that lasts 3 days to a week, then you put yourself in a rhythm. You put yourself in a rhythm. Once that happens, then you're going to realize that you're thinking more clearly, but it's not a quick fix, guys. It takes time. You'll start thinking more clearly. Your body will start emptying out better. Your stomach won't be bloated. You know, you'll have unlimited amount of energy. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to focus more. You'll be able to communicate effectively. Why? Because your body is well hydrated. And when your body is well hydrated, that means your brain is well hydrated. Your blood is flowing and everything. Ain't nothing clogged up. Your blood is flowing like it's supposed to, right? And you're not on no sugar that'll have you with a lot of energy and then bring you down on a crash. Then you won't have to drink coffee every single day to stay up. You know, a lot of people, I gotta have my coffee every morning. Only reason why you gotta have coffee every single morning, because you're eating all that sugar, right, and you're getting that sugar crash, you know, and you ain't got no energy because you ain't emptying out correctly, you know, because you're not putting the proper things in your body to make you rock and roll. I got all this energy. I don't need no sugar. I don't need no coffee. I don't need none of that. You know what I'm saying? You want natural energy. Coffee is just a quick fix. Then next, you got to keep drinking the coffee. It's like drugs, you know, but you got to keep drinking it every single day. You always want to drink a cup of coffee when all you got to do is eat right, eat properly, drink enough water to hydrate your body, eat fruit, eat apples every other day, eat oranges every other day or whenever you can. You know what I'm saying? Drink get you a real coconut and drink some coconut water. Eat some of the coconut meat that's in there. It's kind of nasty, but it's super, super healthy. Eat you some avocados. Avocados is a very, very great thing. You know, stay away from so much bread. You know, but the main thing is sugar, guys. Always look at how much sugar and salt is in everything that you get. Matter of fact, if you stop at the corner store today and buy a Sprite and you buy a Dr. Pepper, think about Stock Sniper TV and turn around and look at how much sugar is inside of that bottle. And then think about how many grams actually that is. And think about it. You know, actually really think about it. But I promise, chat, I'm going to make a video. I'm going to buy another food scale and I'm going to get another Dr. Pepper. I'm going to do the case study on. I'm going to do that for y'all. I'm going to do that. I did it when I was around 30 years old. I was younger than 30, but I did it about 30 years ago. Right? I was around 20 something, maybe 25 something. And I did that case study. Back then, it was 35 grams of sugar. I seen one last night that had 55 grams of sugar. But that's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna make a video, probably a quick short. So be on the lookout for that. It ain't gonna be today, but maybe by this weekend or something, I'm gonna go get a food scale and I'm gonna get some sandwich bags and I'm gonna go buy some sugar and I'm gonna buy a Dr. Pepper, a Sprite, and I'm actually gonna look at how much sugar is in those and I'm gonna pour it in the bag and I'm gonna get a bottle and we're gonna put it inside of the bottle so everybody that's watching the video and watching the short can actually see in real time how much sugar is really in a bottle of soda, a can of soda. You will be amazed. So in other words, all you're drinking is sugar with some additives and something that'll make it fizz up, whatever they put in there to make it fizz up. In other words, you're drinking nothing but sugar and chemicals and a little bit of water. And that's what we got to think about, guys. That's what we got to think about. Man, that's a long paragraph. Are you calling? I'm not calling Donald Trump nothing. That's not. See, you all off topic. You all off what the purpose of the video is. The purpose of the video is sugar, processed food. That's what this is about. It's not about what Donald Trump eat and drink. Yes, he might tell y'all, he might put it out there that he eat at McDonald's, but guess what, guys? He's not eating at McDonald's like that. See, that's another thing, and I gotta go after this chat. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Guys, just because we see somebody on TV or we see somebody in a video with a McDonald's burger or what else, or with a Sprite in their hand or with et cetera, in their hand, that don't necessarily mean that that's what they really eat on a regular basis. If you believe that Donald Trump really eats McDonald's every single day like that, no, it's called promotion and shares of the stock on the back end. It's all promotion, guys. That's what we got to realize. That majority of the time that these things be promotion to get you to go to McDonald's. Right? Just like Donald Trump went and worked at McDonald's, that was all for promotion. That was all for, you know how much money they gave him to do that? That was all for votes. That was all for promotion. And yes, he'll say, oh, McDonald's, and he'll buy McDonald's for everybody on the Super Bowl team or whenever the kids come. That is promotion of McDonald's to get us to go buy a Happy Meal, to get us to go buy a quarter pounder with cheese, to get us to go buy some nuggets. That's what that is. It's called marketing and it's called promoting. And that's what we got to get out of the mindset. Well, Michael Jordan is on the Sprite commercial. Well, LeBron James is on a Dr. Pepper's commercial. That doesn't necessarily mean that they drink the stuff. It doesn't. Have any one of y'all seen Cali Muscle on another subject? He does eating Popeyes and eating, but he don't really eat the stuff, right? He only eat it for promotion. Then he spits it out when the video is over. So we got to get out of that. Well, my favorite athlete, he wears Jordans. I want Jordans. My favorite athlete, he buys McDonald's burger. I'm gonna buy McDonald's burger. My favorite politician, my favorite president, he says he eat at McDonald's every day. Well, I'm gonna go eat at McDonald's every day. You see how it works? That makes it where we go and spend money with McDonald's. It's a money grab. It's a money grab. That's what it is. It's a money grab. That's exactly what it is. Too much water will kill you. I've been drinking water all my life, right? You gotta listen to the information. It's not something I done heard, bro. It's something that I know. Of course, too much water will kill you. That's why they call it drowning. But if you're drinking water, you're supposed to drink at least, maybe not a full gallon. I drink a gallon of water every single day. I've been doing it for 30 years. So, of course, too much water can kill you. That's why they tell you don't hold your breath when you're swimming. Of course that, but water, the body is made up of 70, 80% of our bodies are made of water. Think about what you're saying, but I'm gonna ignore that. But the thing is this, that sugar is toxic, right? Drink more water. Drink more water. Stay away from the processed food. Go to the doctor. Get your blood work done. See where your level's at. If you 40 or 50 years old and you know you've been eating cakes and pies every day, and you know you've been drinking soda water every single day, please go get your blood work done. See where your level's at. If you good, you good. But just know it's 50-50. You're playing with your health. You're playing with your life, right? And with that, without no health, If your health is bad, your work performance is bad. Your attitude is bad, right? You'll try to take a positive and turn it to a negative, like that guy trying to do about saying that too much water will kill you. That's what happens. Don't get offended. Listen to the information. If it don't apply, let it fly. But drinking too much soda, drinking too much, eating too much sugar, it ain't that's something that I done heard. It's something that I know. It causes pre-diabetes. And then if you keep doing it, pre-diabetes turn into diabetes. It's a fact. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. I want another testimonial. We already had one person came and told me, Stock Sniper, I went and got my blood work done. Man, I'm pre-diabetic. I'm gonna start working out, drinking water. I'm gonna stop eating cake. I'm gonna stop going to McDonald's and Jack in the Box. And I'm gonna try to live a healthy lifestyle as I can. It took them almost a year to go from pre-diabetic to get out of pre-diabetic stage and get back into regular normal stage that what your blood levels are supposed to be as far as sugar goes. It took them almost a year, guys, of every single day of staying down till you come up, being disciplined. Somebody told me that. And because they listened, they went and got their blood work done for the first time and found out that they were pre-diabetic and started walking, and they stopped drinking all them sodas. And guess what happened? It took them almost a year to get back from being, they not pre-diabetic no more, and their blood pressure is not high anymore. And guess what? It changed their life. And guess what? I know a lot of people. So don't be the one. I'm just telling y'all, listen to the OG. You can take it how you want to take it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling y'all right now, all that soda, all that processed food, especially if you're in your 20s and 30s, and when you get my age, especially if you don't go to the doctor every single year and get your blood work done, right? But if you ain't going to the doctor every year and get your blood work done, and you're eating all the cakes, and you're drinking all the sodas, you ain't working out, when you get my age, they draw your blood. All of a sudden, you get sick for some reason. And then you go to the hospital. That's another thing. Most of us don't go to the hospital until something is wrong. Most people don't go to the hospital until something is wrong. We got to stop doing that. Every year, I don't care if you're 20 years old. I don't care if you're 18. Every year, you got to go to the doctor and get your blood work done, bro. Just to see what's going on. You can catch something early. Just like that person I just told you. If they would not have been listening to this walk down, they'd have still been drinking sodas, eating Jack in the Box, right? And guess what? They'd ended up going to the doctor. Something would have happened, and they would have went to the doctor, and they'd have found out they had full-blown diabetes. They caught it early. It's pre-diabetes, and then it's full diabetes. Once they say you got pre-diabetes, and you keep on eating all that cake, you keep on drinking all them sodas, it takes 5 to 10 years to become full diabetic. And then once you become full diabetic, man, it's gonna be a long hill, guys. I'm just telling y'all. I come from a family. I come from a medical family. I got my 3 daughters. Some of y'all might know. I got one daughter that go to the University of Texas right now to be a nurse. I got 2 other daughters that are already nurses. My mama is a doctor in psychology. But my mama was a nurse for many, many, many years. So I'm just telling y'all what it is. I'm telling y'all the testimonial. I'm trying to get the person to come on this channel, right, to tell y'all personally about that. But I'm telling y'all, all that sugar, all that salt, drinking sodas every single day, eating Jack in the Box, Whataburger, McDonald's, eating all that processed food every single day like a normal meal, it's gonna catch up with you. Don't let you turn my age and then you find out you pre-diabetic. You got high blood pressure. You got cholesterol. Your arteries all clogged up. I'm telling y'all right now. That's what I do on this channel. I'm telling y'all, and it's true. telling y'all right now. So Stock Sniper, I'm 50 years old. What can I do? Stock Sniper, I'm 40 years old. What can I do? First thing you need to do is go get your blood work checked to go see where your numbers are. Go see where everything is. That's the first thing you need to do. And then you need to stop drinking out. No, the first thing you need to do is make a doctor's appointment and then immediately stop drinking all that soda. Start drinking water. Force yourself to change. Force yourself and force your brain to get out of that drinking sodas every single day, eating at McDonald's and Whataburger every single day. Not just you, but you and your kids, you feeding them McDonald's and Whataburger and Jack in the Box just because you don't want to cook. We gotta stop doing that. And yes, it's a struggle in the beginning. Like with everything in life, it's a struggle. I had to go through it. I had to make myself stop eating Jumbo Jack with cheese and 2 tacos. I had to stop myself from drinking Dr. Pepper every single day. I had to stop myself from doing that. And it started, I had to realize that it was unhealthy. And then once I realized that, I went and did that test I was telling y'all about. I went and got a soda. And I looked on the back of it to see how much grams of sugar is in there. And I got me a food scale, and I weighed up the 35 grams of sugar, and I put it on the scale. And once I seen that all that sugar, and I looked at it, I said, man, I've been drinking sugar this whole time. Just like I dropped Black and Miles at the drop of a dime. A lot of y'all know that story. Just like I dropped Black and Miles at a drop of a dime. Guess what I did? I dropped them sodas at a drop of a dime. And I changed my whole process. That was 30 years ago. Guess what, guys? Just last night, I looked at a bottle of a soda, and guess how much sugar they're putting in the sodas now? 55 grams. But I promise y'all, chat, I'm gonna do this. That case study I did back 30 years ago, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna buy a food scale, I'm gonna buy some sandwich bags, and I'm gonna buy a soda, and I'm gonna buy some sugar, and I'm gonna make a short video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and be on the lookout for that video. I'm not gonna do it today. It's probably gonna be sometime by this weekend. That's gonna be a weekend case study, and I'm gonna show y'all in real time, if you really think about how much sugar is really in 1 bottle of soda. That's not even including a whole liter. That's not really including the big old cups of at the fountain drinks that they give you at the corner store. Imagine how much sugar is in a 44-ounce cup of juice or soda that they sell people every single day at that corner store. Think about it. It's probably about 120, 130 grams of sugar in those big old 44-ounce big cups or whatever, supersized cups. About 120 grams of sugar of toxic poison. And guess what, guys? That's how you gotta look at it. Because guess what? I hope this don't happen to nobody, that you go to the store, that you go to the doctor, and you 30 or 40 years old, or you my age, or you 60, and you go there and they tell you got pre-diabetes, or you go there and you got full diabetes, and the doctor tells you it's because of the sugar and the processed food. You're gonna be like, dang, I've been poisoning myself my whole entire life. So don't be that person that don't listen to the message. I know it's harsh, but guys, that sugar is toxic. It's poison. I'm telling you. And once you look at it like that, once you look at a bottle of soda, or you see some cakes and pies, you see that German chocolate cake that you love so much, and then when you look, man, that's toxic all up in there. Imagine how much sugar and fructose corn syrup is in a German chocolate cake. Think about it for a second. Think about it, chat. How much sugar and fructose corn syrup is in a slice of German chocolate cake? It make me want to throw up just thinking about it. I'm not saying don't eat no sugar, don't no, altogether, but I'm saying a lot of people drink sodas every day. A lot of people order DoorDash and Uber every single day. A lot of people eat cakes and pies, oatmeal pies, and all the other stuff, M&Ms. They go to the corner store and buy sodas before they go to work, after they go to work. A lot of people got to drink coffee every day, putting sugar all in the coffee, putting sugar all in the tea. I'm here to tell you, it's toxic and you poisoning yourself. That's what I'm here to tell you. It's toxic and you poisoning yourself. And then you wonder why you can't run around the block. You can't walk up a flight of stairs. You only poop once or twice a week. I said it. You only poop once or twice a week when you're supposed to be pooping once or twice a day. Your stomach is all bloated. That's why. You try to run or you try to walk and you stop. It ain't that you a quitter. It's just that sugar and all that toxic is holding you down. You wonder why you can't watch a video for 5 minutes. That's why your concentration levels are all thrown off because of what you're putting in your body. So I know it's harsh, but reality is sugar, fructose corn syrup, processed food is toxic. All it is a money grab. That's all it is. It's a money grab. It's a way to make us addicted to spend more money. So guess what? The capitalists, the people that are capitalists, their profits are so high. They sell a bottle of soda for $2, guys, and it's nothing but sugar. Think about that for a second. They sell a can of soda, a bottle of soda for $2, $1.99, whatever. And it got 35 to 55 grams of sugar in it and some food coloring. In other words, they just mix up anything in the kitchen. They just whip up anything in the kitchen and sell it. And guess what? They know that we are addicted to that, chat. They know that we are addicted to it. And guess what? They also know that it causes diabetes. They also know that it causes high blood pressure. And they also know that the younger generation, the people that are born in the 2000s, you know, the youngsters that are like under 30, under 25, under 20, those kids are finding out. This is the biggest thing about this live, guys, and I gotta go. Those kids that are 10, 12, 15, 20, 25 years old, 30, are finding out that they got pre-diabetes and high blood pressure and obesity at that young of an age. They don't want to run. They don't want to exercise. They can't play a game of basketball to 10 to save their life. And it's because of the toxicity, the toxic that's in their body. Is the levels are so elevated that they can't think properly. They can't communicate effectively. And it's because it's not that they're slow. It's not that they're, it's just because of what they do to themselves in the process of how they're being developed as a kid, as a person. That's what it comes to, how it's being developed. Because guess what? Majority of these parents these days, guys, they don't cook. That's why DoorDash and Uber Eats are making income, or they are making boatloads of profits. DoorDash and Uber, guys, is very new. And they are killing it. They are killing it when it comes to the amount of bread, the amount of money they are bringing in every quarter, every earnings report. Just look at the numbers that Uber and DoorDash brings in every quarter. Uber and DoorDash is becoming a $1 trillion company, guys. Let's let that sink in. DoorDash and Uber is becoming a $1 trillion company. A $1 trillion business is headed in that direction. DoorDash and Uber is becoming just as big as Whataburger, as McDonald's. In a minute, DoorDash and Uber are going to be paying dividends for their shareholders. So we got to understand what's going on. We got to understand. In other words, we got to start spending less. You got to start spending less money. Because guess what? They already understand the economy. This is what the economy means. The economy means addiction. That's what the economy means. The American, if y'all listen to how they talk, everybody want to talk about Donald Trump. Everybody want to talk about Joe Biden. Everybody want to talk about this, want to talk about that, but not talking about the things that really matter. It's how they're using us on the monopoly board, guys. Once you realize how you're being used on the monopoly board and the profits are being made, do you want to be a consumer or do you want to be an investor? Do you want to be on the left side or you want to be on the right side? If you want to be a consumer, that means that you're inside of the economy, the economic circle that they talk about every single day. Oh, America has the best economy. Yes, we spend all the money. See, they know that we're addicted to certain things, guys. They know this. They know this. And we got to break that. And guess what? When you're addicted to sugar, when you're addicted to cigarettes, when you're addicted to alcohol, when you're addicted to cakes and pies, guess what that does? That trickles down to your kids and grandkids, guys. Now your kids and grandkids become the next customers, the next, the next generation that could possibly have high blood pressure, that could possibly have diabetes or pre-diabetes or high cholesterol. Because if you're eating all these things every single day and you're making children, you know it goes through the DNA, right? I hope y'all understand that eating all that sugar all the time, that processed food, that is connected to your DNA genetics. And if you're having sex and you're making kids, you're actually passing that down to them. So that means that they have to eat a perfectly healthy life to avoid pre-diabetes in their later years, to avoid cholesterol, high cholesterol, to avoid heart attacks and strokes. I hope y'all understand that. It's directly connected. So I'm gonna end it right here, guys. I love and I appreciate y'all. It's too many people commenting for me to read all the comments, right? So I think I'm gonna end it right here, guys. This has been an hour live. I hope y'all learned something. Go get your blood levels checked. I know it got some negative comments in the comment section, but I'm telling you the truth. I'm talking to you from an OG's perspective. I'm talking to you with real facts. This is not bullshit and bubble gum. This is real facts. And sometimes the truth hurts, because it hurted me when I heard it. But it was over 30 years ago. That, like the story I told about my OG told me about them Black and Miles. See, we got to learn how to listen and see if it makes sense. If it strike a nerve and it makes sense, that means that you are the problem. You got to change it. It's always changing of the renewing of the mind. Think about what's being said. Think about what's going on. More importantly, stop drinking all that sugar. Drink more water, coconut water, fruits and vegetables. Stop eating that Jack in the Box and Whataburger and DoorDash and Uber Eats, and start cooking at home. Get out and walk. Exercise a little bit. All it takes is 20 minutes a day. That's all it takes. Start drinking water. You'll think more clearly. It'll flush your system out, and you won't be bloated no longer. Go get your blood work done, right? Go get your blood work done. If you haven't been to the doctor in 5, 10 years, you got to go get your blood work done. Don't be scared. Just go get your blood work done. It might could possibly save you, just like that person that I'm talking about. If they wouldn't have went and got their blood work done, and they would have went 10 years, and they would have got sick and found out that they had diabetes, So I'm proud of that. I'm proud that somebody listened to the OG and actually went and got their blood work done. And the same thing that I was talking about, they actually had pre-diabetes. And guess what they did? They started walking and exercising and drinking water and stopped eating that trash food and started living a healthy lifestyle. And it took them almost a year to get back under pre-diabetic levels. So guys, if you find out you pre-diabetic, Hope nobody finds that out. But if you do, or if you find out you got high blood pressure, you have to understand that it takes time to change the lifestyle. It takes time for the body to adjust and recalculate itself. It takes time to get back healthy. It takes time, guys. That's the thing. It's so that's like just like the old people used to say, trouble is so easy to get into, but it's hard to get out of. That's why it's very important, guys, and I gotta say this and I gotta go. You gotta practice your mind to think long term. You gotta train your mind to think long term. You gotta practice your mind on being patient, right? You gotta practice doing that. And how you practice, Stock Sniper? By walking, by reading, by holding conversations, right? By watching long videos like this from the beginning to the end that's talking good. Staying away from negativity. Minimize the negativity. You know, all that. The opposite of that, it affects the way you process things. It affects the way you consume things. And it affects your concentration. Then next thing you know, they'll say that you got ADHD, that you got all these mental health issues, and they want to do what? Put you on medicine. That's why I dropped out of psychology school, guys, because I seen how they were trying to get us to give people medicine automatically. You don't know nothing about the people, you don't know nothing about their family history, but you automatically want to give them some drugs. I didn't like that, guys. So yeah, I quit. I didn't like that, guys, because I was raised that health, what you put in your body, food, water, staying away from sugar, staying away from processed food, staying away from the fast food, cook your food at home, eat a lot of spinach, leafy greens, you know, things like that. That right there can heal your body. That right there can heal your body. So and it's real serious, and it's legit, and it's real. Listen to the OG. Listen to the OG. So with that being said, this has been an hour live. I walked 2.5 miles to get out this message, guys. This live right here was very, very powerful. Share the video. If you got all your Tic Tacs in order, do me a favor and share the video and help somebody, guys. That's what we got to do. You got to help the people in your household, and then you got to help other people. That's how you get your blessings from the Most High. We got to remember that, guys. You got to get your blessings from the Most High. But the message of today, and it's real talk. Everybody that's watched this channel, we got 200 people in the building. Guys, no matter I didn't like it either, guys. I didn't like it either, guys. When my OG told me to get rid of them Black and Milds, I got rid of them. You know, a lot of y'all that's been on this channel remember that story. In other words, when somebody tell you something good and you know it's the truth, when you sit down and think about it, because sometimes the truth hurts, right? You got to realize and think logically. And then you got to change the way you think, and then you got to change your habits. And you got to work from step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and understand that it ain't going to happen overnight. If you've been drinking sodas, if you my age, right, and you haven't been to the doctor since you was in school or whatever, you ain't been to the doctor in over 10 years, and all of a sudden you say, well, you know what? I'm going to listen to what OG Stock Sniper talking about, and I'm going to go get my blood work done. And you go get your blood work done, and they tell you pre-diabetic. You got to think how you been living your life. Okay, how long have I been smoking cigarettes? How long have I been drinking alcohol? How long have I been drinking sodas every single day? How long have I been eating cakes every single day? And then once you analyze that, then you say, well, dang, I got a long road ahead, which is a lifestyle change. Because you going from pre-diabetic back to your normal range, it's not gonna happen overnight, guys. It's not. It's a work. It's work. It's a process. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay down until you come up. But that's why I say all the time on this channel that they want us impatient. They don't want us patient, guys. They do not. They don't want us patient. They want us anxious. They want us worried, because all those things causes health problems. If you can't watch a 30-minute video, if you can't read a book, if you can't listen to a 30-minute hour audio book, if you can't walk for an hour, right? It ain't that it's something wrong with you mentally. It's that you haven't programmed yourself and you haven't put the right things in your body, because all that sugar and all that stuff, it just holds you down, right? People wonder why I have so much energy. It's because of what I put in my body. I'm not no special hero. I'm not there ain't nothing special about me. I'm just a normal American. I'm just a normal person that understand the process, right? I understand the process, and I understand the plan, and I stick to the simple plan. And I've been doing it every day, every week, every month for 3 decades. A lot of y'all know I say 25 summers, but we passed 25 summers right now. So it takes time to shine, guys. We have to work on expanding our mind, expanding our circle, expanding how we think, eliminating the people that we don't, eliminating the people that causes negative things in the circle. In other words, sometimes you got to change your circle. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. Earn, spend less, and make proper investments. And yes, your health. Not drinking soda every single day. Coming out, walking, putting the work in is an investment. The most easy investment you can make is changing and renewing of your mind when it comes to your health and actually putting the work in. It don't cost a dime. It didn't cost a dime for me to come out here and exercise, right? It didn't cost a dime. And I'm gonna tell everybody that say eating healthy is more expensive, it's not. You just gotta know what to put together and how to put it together, and you gotta know how to strategize, plan and strategize, and then make it work for you. Real simple. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. Earn, spend less, and make proper investments. Health is an investment. Health is one of the best investments you can make. And then you teach it to your kids and grandkids. That's what we got to get back to. We got to make America healthy again. Another thing, kids don't even play no more. Kids don't even go outside. All they want to do is be on the phone, be on the tablet, looking at Pokemon, whatever that stuff called on YouTube, looking at cartoons, instead of going outside and getting some of this fresh air and working on their mental health and working on their health. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all chat. I might go live again tonight. I might. But once again, everybody that's been subscribing to the channel, I really love and I appreciate y'all. To the next one, it's the one and only Stock Sniper. I love y'all chat. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Listen to what some of these points I covered in this live. I hope it helped somebody out. It definitely helped me out. I love and I appreciate y'all chat. That's the reason why I'm telling y'all these things. I love y'all, everybody that come rock with the channel. I love y'all, bro. I love y'all, I love y'all, I love y'all. With that being said, it's the one and only Stock Sniper. I'm out.